Jared, you're up.
Yeah.
Jared.
All right, we're ready. Okay.
Mike's on it.
Good morning, everyone. Call this Board of Supervisors meeting to order. We've had quite an interesting night. I think everyone was saying it's a carryover for today. It's the reason I think we're got a lighter crowd here today than normal. And just prayers go out to everyone that's having to experience the tragedy, Mother Nature, and I think God lets us know who's still in control. Just simple things like last night. But at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Slay if he would do the invocation.
Let's pray. Father, we want to stop right now before we get started. Thank you for your presence here with us today, Father. But even more so, Father, we want to thank you for how you preserved and protected the lives of our citizens, Lord, and you protected our employees. Father, I want to thank you for the men and women who sacrificed so much to go and help those in need. Father, we just lift them up to you, and I ask that you would bless them. Father, I pray that you will go with us today as we seek to make good and wise decisions. Father, we pray for wisdom. We pray for discernment. And Lord God, we thank you again for our first responders and those that preserve and protect us in Christ's name.
I'd like just to say too, all night long, our emergency responders, our first responders, all our EOC people, our fire departments, our road crew, and all have been out. So, sheriff's department, everybody. So anytime those are the ones that you don't really appreciate till you need them. So, I hope everyone can give them some thank you. I mean, these guys, I talked to some this morning. They were coming in to change clothes. They're wet up to their necks, and they're going to go back out. So I appreciate them. I hope everyone realizes just what they mean to Rankin County. Next we have, I guess I gave my public comment there, so next we have public comment and recognition. Start with, we'd like to, Central Mississippi Library. It's National Library Week, and I believe we have Miss Ashley Biggs here. Okay. You will come forth, please? And if you would you recognize everyone with you? We thank you all for being here today.
We are a little short-staffed ourselves because of the weather. We've got a couple of people that couldn't come with us. I'm Kimberly Cook. I'm the branch coordinator for Central Mississippi Regional Library System. And on behalf of the Central Mississippi Regional Library System and our director, Maura Polk, we just want to extend our extreme gratitude to each of you individually and as a whole for everything that you do for our system. CMRLS is comprised of 4 counties and contains 20 libraries. And together last year, we enjoyed a total of 623,290 library visits. That's a lot of people through the doors of the libraries. The total for Rankin County libraries was 430,574 in Rankin County alone. So this allows you to discern just how valuable the libraries are in each of our counties. We are very thankful to you that you continue to recognize the value of these libraries in your county and that you provide the level of support that allows us to maintain the exceptional services that we can provide to the communities. As we all hear on the news every day, budget cuts are coming down, and we're feeling those just like everybody else, and they're not over yet. There's more to come. But you guys have maintained, and we are very thankful for that. You've supported us, and you've backed us in very trying times, and we appreciate everything that you do. I'm going to turn it over to some of our Rankin County branch managers. Let them introduce themselves to you and tell you something about their branches if they wish. And we have some goodies for you. We've got some information that you guys can
Yeah, you can just leave them right here.
Yeah, I think
That's good.
thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Linda Wolf. I'm the branch manager at Brandon, and we enjoy being there. My staff, we have a really good time together because we enjoy the people that come in the door. And we realize that we represent not only the city of Brandon, but we also represent you. And when you think about your dollars that you spend in the county in different ways, the dollars that you spend at the library are very well spent. We touch so many people, and when they come to us, they're not just coming in, just to come in necessarily. Sometimes we're the people that they talk to. We're the only people that they talk to. And, we touch them and we help them with whatever their problem is. And they have some very strange problems. Sometimes they're trying to find y'all. So we tell them where y'all are. But we do take care of the Rankin Countyans. And I think that's important for you to realize, is that we are, your hands out there doing for the people of Rankin County. Kind of like the Sheriff's Department and all them, we help people in different aspects, in different ways. One of our patrons wrote down on his little card about the library and why he loves the library. It is a magical place in a very ordinary world, and that's what we try to do. We try to be for these people what they need to be, for us to be. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Morgan Lee, and I am just now starting at the Florence branch. So I don't really have much to say just yet. It's actually my first day. So it's been an exciting day coming here and seeing all of you, and that's it. See you next year.
Hi, I'm Maggie Bootman. I'm the branch manager at the Pearl Library, and I'm just proud to be here. As I was telling them earlier, it's my 1-year anniversary this past Saturday, and I'm just proud to serve the community of Pearl and Rankin County. We have about 40-something computers for the public, and that's something we enjoy providing to them, is that internet time when people at home can't necessarily afford to use the internet or buy a computer. And I'm just so proud of my staff, and my patrons compliment them all the time. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Ashley Biggs. I know I've met all of y'all before, and
Right.
usually in costumes, running around. I think the last time y'all saw me, I was dressed as a minion. And I've had the pleasure of being the steward of the public library in Flowood for the last 3.5 years. And I would like to extend a personal invitation. I would like for you to come and be thanked by my patrons personally. In that basket, you have love letters from our patrons. In February, it was National Library Lovers Month, so they all wrote love letters. But coming up very soon, Flowood is celebrating National Library Week, as well as our library system turning 30 and Flowood Library turning 15. And I got together with the Friends of Flowood Library, and we really wanted to show exactly how important the library is to the community. More so than just, hey, we're having a big party, but rather this is an extension of a community center. We are the community. It's not about stats. It's not about numbers. I can make numbers say anything. It's really about the good that we do. 16,000 items circulated a month mean nothing when I see a little girl running down the hallway in sneakers that light up and squeak as she's running to story time. So I would like to thank you personally by inviting you to our celebration next week. And to do that, I've brought copies of the information.
Okay.
So please join us.
Okay. It's on our calendars. About a few weeks ago, you're doing the Florence Library, and I've not met you. That's my library. Also, my granddaughter stopped by one day, and she said something about she was going somewhere to the library, and I said, "What are you going to the library for?" I thought maybe like a program. She's 7, and she looked at me with this really a dull look. She went, "A book?" Okay, a book. So anyway, glad to have you there. Glad to have all you all here. Appreciate what you do, because and I appreciate you coming. And I know the board does, for thanking us for what we try to do and what we do for y'all, but y'all are what make it happen. We do our part, but you're the ones that really make it happen. And so we thank you, and thank you for coming today. Thank you so very
Thank you all.
much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
All right. Next we have Judge John Shirley. It's going to be a tough act to follow, Judge.
Sorry, I dropped some. I want to speak for just a second about a topic that I know y'all have discussed about some cases that are going through justice court and you cannot get the defendant served because they live out of the county. Well, obviously that is a problem, particularly, for example, your nuisance properties. If you can't get the defendant served, you might not be able to get that property taken care of because you can't put some penalties on the defendant by not taking care of his property. And what I did was I explained to you in this handout, I'm assuming everybody's got a copy of that now, is the way it works right now is the judge either issues an arrest warrant or doesn't issue an arrest warrant. If they live out of the county, but in Mississippi, what they do is our clerk sends a copy to the other county, and the constable there can pick up that defendant and arrest them and take them to their jail, and then call our justice court and have our constable come over and pick them up. The problem is they're not motivated over in some of the other counties because a constable only gets paid if the defendant is convicted. So if the charge is dismissed for whatever reason, or if they're found not guilty, the constable doesn't get paid, and the constable only gets $35. So the bottom line is that you've got constables from another county that are not helping us with that, and so what I was trying to do is come up with a solution. There was no solution. I think until July 1 of this year there will be a solution. July 1, the Supreme Court came out with some new rules that will go into effect on that date. Rather than just issuing an arrest warrant, we have the ability to issue a summons instead of an arrest warrant. That's in the cases of where we want someone to appear. We don't think we need to actually have them arrested. We're hoping that they'll show up. And if they don't show up if they're served with a summons, then we can issue an arrest warrant for them. And the way that the new rules are written, it says that a summons can be served by an officer who has arrest powers. And what I was giving you a proposed solution for, and first off, I'm not asking you to do this, I'm just telling you that this is a possible solution. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. It's just a way to deal with it. What you can do is right there, I'm looking at proposed voluntary solution effective 7/1/17.
Right.
If the board enters into a contract with one or more of the constables in the county, because they are officers that are authorized to do a warrant, but they can't do it out of the county, but they fit under the way that rule is designed to let us do summons rather than a warrant, then if you have an agreement with one or more of the constables, they can go out of county as a private process server, and they can actually serve that person with a summons, and hopefully they'll show up with a summons, because the summons will be clear. It will say, we'd like for you to come to court and take care of this. If you don't take care of it, you're going to get arrested. So that would be a motivation for them to come to court. The problem, I've listed some pros and cons, and the number of the cons outweigh the pros, but I don't think you should go by just a statistical analysis there, because the pro is obviously that you're going to get some property that's taken care of. The cons, let me deal with the third one. I'm going to go in reverse order. Obviously, a constable in another county could get assaulted. They face that consequence with it when they're here in this county if they do it. But then let me go back up to number one. If the defendant is served with a summons out of county and they don't show up, then we still have to have them arrested, which gets us back to the original problem. But hopefully a lot of these folks will show up, because again, the summons will be clear. Show up. If you don't show up, you're going to get arrested. The con for that is that, as I noted up there when I talked about the rules were changed as to who could serve summonses, but it doesn't change how those people get paid. So what you would have there is you could reach whatever financial agreement you choose to reach with whatever constables that you reach with them, but a guilty defendant can only be assessed the $35 constable fee, and the constable doesn't get the mileage, because the mileage is for transporting a defendant from where you pick them up to the jail. Well, if they're doing a summons, they're not picking anybody up. So that is just one possible solution, and I think that it would work. And obviously, you don't have to decide that. Obviously, you can take a time and you decide you don't want to do it. If you decide you want to do it, though, I'd ask you to give us some advance notice, because what will have to happen is you can pick whatever cases you want. Maybe you decide you want the nuisance properties from out of the county. You can send a message to the clerk that says, I've got this property and this property and this property, and I want them to go to one of our constables to try to serve them out of the county. Just understanding that the clerk needs to know that, so the judge issues a summons rather than a warrant, because the constable can't do the arrest warrant. The judge would need to issue a summons. And what you also need the clerk will need to understand is that whatever financial agreement you've reached with the constable, the defendant can't get assessed that. They can only get assessed the $35, which is a negative. It may be worth it to you to clean up some of these properties. And I know that's just a real quick rundown, and if y'all have a question now, I'll try to answer it. If you want to think about it and bring me back, I'll try to answer it then. I think it can't go into effect until July 1 anyway.
But you're sure it will be in effect then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In fact, I passed this scenario past Judge McDaniel and told him this is what I'm thinking about doing. He said he thought it was a good idea. He said that was the purpose, part of the new rules. You've heard some folks complain about the newest rules from the Supreme Court. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. This is one of the better rules. You can have people summoned rather than arresting them, and this should work. So it will definitely go into effect July 1. And you might decide you don't want to do it and you want to wait a while. The point is before you get it done, let the clerk know so she can tell the judge they're asking in this particular, whatever case you choose, they're asking that you do a summons and let one of our constables go get them served with a summons. Don't issue an arrest warrant.
Okay.
You have any questions?
No, I think you pretty well covered it. This is a new tool that we would, I guess, for us to exercise, because it is it's a lot just like unpaid fees. It's bad they get this, and the nuisance properties, I know, particular one I know of, there's probably 4 or 5 on them, but they're out of the county.
Right.
So.
And if you don't have help from an out-of-county constable,
right,
you're not going to get them.
Right.
But
right.
at least our constable, if they can locate them, then they can say they're going to get a piece of paper that says show up.
Yeah.
If you don't show up, you will get arrested.
Right.
Now again, you get back to if you have to arrest them, you come back to the original problem. But hopefully the defendant won't
right.
think that through that far.
Yeah. I have one that the people there said they'd even have paid to have them see it served, so I don't think that'd be a problem above $35. So
right.
Anyway, no. Any questions you might have?
That's right. I think it's an excellent solution to our dilemma of not being able to get process. If these are nuisance properties in Rankin County, just so happens that one of the co-owners happens to live in another county, and
right.
it's sort of stuck when it can't get all the parties in front of it.
Right.
And so I think this is a solution that helps to hopefully save money. You know, the workaround for us on that example
right.
was having to basically take it to a private litigation matter. So as a workaround for having to move outside of the criminal process, going the civil route to try to affect the result, which is much more costly for the county than what this would be.
Right.
And the civil route doesn't let you put them in jail either.
Exactly.
The criminal route would.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly right.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it to our attention. Thank you for taking time to do that.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Shirley. All right, moving on. Old business. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve March 15th old business minutes by Mr. Who did that? Morrow. Okay. Second, Mr. Gaines. I wasn't sure who was on that end. Okay. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion approved, Mr. Morrow.
Second.
Second, Mr. Cross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? John Sullivan, boy, he's up and moving already.
That's it. Petition change.
Mr. Parker, you might want to get ready.
All right. Petition change assessment 2016, real personal property assessment.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion approved, Mr. Morrow, second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye. All opposed? Bridget Herring, purchasing clerk.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have a bid opening this morning for scrub seal, slurry seal, and micro surfacing. First bid.
Got issues. The first bid is from Dickerson and Bowen. Item one, scrub seal per square yard, $3.90, and they did not bid items 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Second bid is from Vance Brothers Incorporated. Item 1, no bid. Item 2, they didn't.
No bid?
They bid items 2, 3, and 4 instead of doing the bid form per square yard for one set thing. They've got different prices based on square yards. So they didn't do it the way I'd asked for it, so it'll take a little while to go through each one.
Okay. We'll take them under advisement anyway.
Yeah. I'm not real sure how you bid that when everybody else has asked just for one set price.
Good morning, David. Good morning.
The third and final bid is from T.L. Wallace Construction. Item 1, scrub seals, $2.25 per square yard. Item 2, slurry seal, $2.20 per square yard. Item 3, micro surfacing, $2.34 per square yard. Item 4, micro surfacing modified per square yard, $2.49. They added an item that we did not ask for. I recommend those be taken under advisement.
So moved.
All right, motion to take these under advisement, Mr. Morrow. Second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
My next item, the debris truck with boom, we're not quite ready for an award for that bid yet. I'd like to table that till the 17th.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Mike Harrison.
Morning.
Been a long night.
Been a long.
You tell
Hey,
you tell
before
the
Mike-
crews how much we appreciate you.
Yeah, and before Mike starts also, I'm glad to see him in some dry clothes and and underwear all of a sudden. But look, hey,
How feels good.
I do want to say how much I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Look, I pulled up onto a deal last night there on Castlewood's Boulevard. He's got water coming out of his ears. He dives down underwater, cleaning out drains, and we couldn't have a better road manager here in Rankin County. So thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it. Couldn't done it without the sheriff's help too, and the fire department.
Well, you weren't here earlier, and I made comment and thanked all of them. And you were right.
Takes all of us to do
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly right.
Appreciate it, guys. Road work accomplished for March, road schedule for April.
So moved.
Second.
Motion approved is approved by Mr. Morrow, second Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Request approval for AT&T permit, telecop along Oakdale Road installed between Langford Farms Road and Baker Lane.
So moved.
Motion approved, Mr. Morrow.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Request approval of AT&T utility permit on construction of copper cable routed along Hollow Oak Lane installed between Blackberry and Kobe Lane. I think that one right there, y'all hold up just a second. That one we was gonna hold off on, wasn't it, Buster? We're gonna hold off on that one. We got a little problem right there.
Okay,
on
so
that
no,
one.
no action on
No,
that one?
I don't need no action on C.
Okay.
Request approval for engineering service to survey and apply permits for emergency storm debris on Cone Hill out there.
So moved.
Okay. Motion. Okay, motion approved by Mr. Morrow. Second, myself. Heard nobody second. Be fine. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Parker.
Thank you, sir. I only have one item on the agenda, and as you see there, it's approval of an easement and construction agreement between MDOT and the Rankin County Board of Supervisors. This is in relationship to the U.S. Highway 49 project between Florence and I-20. And we need authority for the president to execute the documents. Your attorney has looked at that and sees no problem with that agreement.
So moved.
Okay, motion approved by Mr. Morrow.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion?
What-
Go ahead.
It's a county property that we're given an easement for them to be able to come in.
Yes, sir, it's county property, and the
Yeah.
board has to speak on behalf of the county. The county would be executing the easement agreement. They're
Where roads come in to 49.
Is it a new road? or-
It's our right of way, and it's property that's along these feeder streets that come
Yeah.
in.
Like frontage road?
Well, no, like, let's see, probably one like, Garner Road.
Garner Road's a prime
Garner
example.
Road, where they gonna do,
It's
hook it into the
existing
new
roads.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you got,
I got you.
you got all the feeder roads that come in.
All
Right.
Yeah.
Typically,
Okay.
it's alignment issues.
Yes.
connected.
All right, Monterey, that's one.
I think
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Monterey's one.
Uh-huh.
There are a number
Yeah.
of locations. Off the top of my head, it's like half a dozen
Yeah.
different locations
Yes.
along 49, all the way down to Florence.
Correct.
Pearson Road, yeah. All right. Had a motion second. Any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Okay, Mr. Slade. Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Mr. President, the first three items, A, B, and C, under my section are all to set public hearings May 1 at 9 a.m. LM&R Service, Inc., Ryan Murphy conditional use, and the George Winston conditional use. I'd ask those be taken as one item.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Motion set this public hearings?
Yeah, the Ryan Murphy. I wonder where did we push that on through on Friday?
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
public hearing?
Yep.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to
Yes, sir.
approve.
All right. Those are to set a public hearing for the May 1.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, motion set the public hearing by Mr. Morrow, second Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? I had the same question you did, Bob, but, yeah,
I
anyway.
knew we didn't do one, but I couldn't
Right,
remember if I was.
okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Item D is the public hearing on the Tim Smith conditional use permit, 4136 Highway 471. We'll open that public hearing, and I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak in opposition to the Tim Smith conditional use permit. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Mr. President, I don't see anyone here to speak in opposition on that matter. At this time, it'd be appropriate to take action.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, motion approved, Mr. Cross, second Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
Last item is a request that's come to us from the 811 organization. Did it come from the governor? Okay, it came from the governor asking that we recognize and proclaim April as Safe Digging Month in Rankin County. I believe you've got in your packet a copy. Do they have a copy of the proclamation? All right.
I got it here.
We've got a copy of the proclamation, standard proclamation that we issue, just reminding our people to call before they dig.
Just as long as just the month of April. I don't.
Just the
month. Katie bar the door. I make the motion.
All right. Motion, Mr. Morrow, second Mr. Gaines. All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
You ready for me?
Glad to have y'all.
See you, Deborah.
I figured say, and look at these we brought.
We're a late start school, so
Yeah.
come see what y'all do and everything.
Not much.
Thank you. Glad to have y'all.
Good day.
You too. Thank you.
Jeffrey, I'm
See you later.
looking forward to seeing you a lot in May into the county.
All right, John. Good to see y'all. Okay, Ms. Oster.
First item I have this morning is a request approval to advertise county resources in the amount of $5,000 as a sponsor of the National Law Fit Challenge to be held in Pearl, June 9th through the 11th. And it's supposed to be 2017.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Morrow, second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you. The next item is approval of a service agreement with Waste Management for 2 additional 4-yard dumpsters to have at the multipurpose pavilion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Morrow, second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed?
Thank you. The next item, Jay had questioned this. I did not take it off after talking to Mike, but if y'all want to hold up since he's not here, it's authority to purchase WebRoot Secure Endpoint, which is an antivirus, in the amount of $6,800 from Birdsong Technology, and the Marvin system that we're putting in for Judy, the new computer system for their state requirement, requires us to have one. Right now, all we have is a free download of an antivirus. They did get 3 quotes. Jay's question was the next IT person coming in here might prefer a different kind. They did work with Jared Grant on this, and they got him from 3 different companies. There was no preference that they had. And so also I have to take an online class with our banking online that requires us to have an antivirus.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion approved, Mr. Morrow, second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? So I guess the only thing, just to cover it, since Jay's not here, the questions he had, pretty much you've got it covered since there were only 3.
Right.
They,
Well,
they
we
reached out.
They looked at 3 providers, and we
Right.
took the lowest and best. And what this does right now, they have a free download for antivirus.
Okay.
But what this does, will give them control to be able to see computers. It'll alert them if anything happened. Right now, we don't know until it's too late if anything happens on a computer.
Okay.
But this will alert them if there's any kind of a virus that's, could affect a computer, and they can isolate it.
Yeah, my only point was it's pretty well covered, and we got the lowest and best bid.
Yes,
so,
we
I mean,
did.
Jared is fine with this one.
Yes.
Okay. All right, a motion and a second, and any more discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
The next item is authority to purchase WinPack access control upgrade for the Maglock access doors in the amount of $8,843, and this will be for the software controller and the battery upgrades through NetLink.
Where's this for?
This is for all of our secure doors, our Maglocks. We have some of the boards are gone and batteries in. In fact, they couldn't get into Region 8, our storage over there one day, and they had to break the lock on the door because if the power trips, there's no battery backup right now, and it doesn't come back on.
So moved.
All right, motion approved, Mr. Morrow.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gaines. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Hey, let me ask you just one quick question back up. This deal with Birdsong, how long was that for?
1 year.
Just 1 year?
I bet.
It probably is. Some of that, though, is the purchase of batteries included in
No,
that.
the one before that.
No, the one before
Oh, the one before that?
Yeah.
That is for 1 year, yes.
All right, well, see, it won't be hurt then
Yes,
anyway,
it
just
is.
for a year. Okay, all right, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Next item is authority to pay JH&H Architects Planners for the invoice number 17-0122 for their services in the amount of $163,000 for the new courthouse facilities, and authority to issue that check.
So moved.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Morrow. Second, Mr. Cross. Any discussion?
I noticed that.
All in favor say aye. All opposed?
The next item is approval of an agreement with TechSource for a block of time not to exceed 40 hours for the months of April and May. Right now, we currently have 15 hours left on the current block he's working under, but y'all had requested that he go through the resumes and then attend the...
I'd be more inclined to, if you got into the resumes and that kind of stuff, and with his normal stuff, he's got 15, maybe go ahead and bump it to 60 for
Well, this
April
would
and
give
May.
him 55 from today, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I'd say give him, if you're gonna go 2 months, we can average in 40 hours a month. I say go ahead and give him 60 plus the 15 is 75. That'll should get us through April and May without him having to come back, hopefully. Especially since he's getting ready to help us do the
Right.
interviewing and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I would make the motion that we change that to 60 hours.
60 hours, okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Motion by Mr. Morrow.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr. President, one item of additional business, if we may. We have our acquisition agent on our Gunner Road project who's
Okay.
got some valuations to discuss with you. If you guys don't mind adding that to the agenda and allowing Greg to walk you through those valuations.
Okay.
I'll make the motion we add it to the agenda.
Second.
Motion to add this to the agenda by Mr. Morrow, second Mr. Cross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Oh, sure, it'll take me just a minute to read through this.
Just hang on to those.
As is custom, I have a summary sheet for each of y'all. So this is another round of waiver valuations. Actually, keep this back.
Here you go.
Yeah, that's the second copy. So I'm giving y'all a summary of all the valuations.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So this is the latest round of waiver valuations on Gunner Road. We're working our way from 49 back towards 469, and same as what y'all seen before. And then I have a stack of the first page from Mr. Morrison to sign. Right.
I'm assuming the damages are kind of like fencing, maybe a little cosmetic, not cosmetic, but landscape and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. We pay for trees that are of significant value. Like if we have a big oak tree and it's just a big oak tree, it's not a wooded area. Well, they'll value a wooded area as a wooded area, but a significant tree might be $300 or $400. We're using values from a local landscaper. So fences, significant trees, brick mailbox, anything that's in the acquisition area.
What'd you say, brick mailbox?
Yes, sir.
I make the motion to approve.
All right. Motion approved by Mr. Morrow.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gaines. Any more discussion? Everything seems to be going pretty smooth that I can.
Yes, sir. We
tell.
did a mass mail out to everyone on the project.
I've heard.
I got a lot of phone calls, a lot of positive comments, few concerns, but nothing we haven't been able to address.
Yeah, I've had several people I've gotten say I've gotten my letter. What's this about? And got my letter, and so yeah, I know they're going out there.
Yeah, my phone rang a lot for the first week and a half.
Hang on just a second. I just realized that I have an uncle on hand that's on this list. I can approve.
Yeah, we're going to back up. We're going to ask that we rescind the motion that Mr. Morrow made, and he is going to recuse himself.
So I need to leave.
You didn't know they live down there?
Disregard that comment.
Let the record reflect Mr. Morrow is recusing himself.
Daniel, don't run off.
Discussion of that
Oh,
particular
good.
valuation.
Mr. Gaines, would you make that motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we accept this.
All right.
I just want to feel needed, Jerry.
Huh?
I just want to feel needed.
Yeah, didn't want you to leave.
Second. I wouldn't go anywhere.
Well, I mean, you jumped up. I thought, well, what are we
I was
fixing to have here?
multitasking.
All right, second by Mr. Cross. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. Morrow, you may enter the building.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, sir.
Yep, you're good.
Bob, we got you.
Thought you quit. You know where you're going.
I don't really think that would matter. All right. Any other additional business?
Yeah, I'm going to add one thing, and Craig, I don't know if we need to go this route or not, as far as any kind of declaration or request for assistance from the state on that same point. I've been in touch, a few phone calls here with the Lieutenant Governor's office, and also there's been calls made. Mr. Larry's helped us out, got us into the Governor's office. They've laid those declarations now in the hands of MEMA on that same side, requesting it. But I don't know if we can do a formal thing from our standpoint, add it to the agenda, requesting some assistance financially and any other kind of aid statewide.
Where will this do? Is it identified I mean, it's countywide.
It's countywide.
or how- Yeah,
Countywide,
that's where they
absolutely.
need to do it, I would think.
Be a blanket
Yeah.
on the whole county that would
Yeah.
cover us for north half, south, and everywhere.
Right, that's what I thought
Absolutely.
it'd have to be.
He was already aware of the several different places in the.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
already knew about those.
So what I'd like to see us do, if we can, is to add to the agenda a request to the governor's office and any other state agency that is appropriate
Okay.
to request emergency relief, whether that be in the form of a declaration or in the form of financial assistance, whatever is available to us. in
Just
terms of
that we support whatever.
that
We
we're
would like to
making
be
forward.
designated as a disaster county during these
Disaster area.
days.
Correct.
Because that may come with federal monies down the road.
Tag it into a lot of different
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. All right, do I have a motion to add this to the agenda?
So moved.
Motion to add this to
Second.
the agenda by Mr. Cross, second Mr. Morrow, or Mr. Gaines, I'm not sure which one said first.
I beat him.
Okay.
And I do want to add one other thing to that in the discussion side. From Mike's standpoint, I know the sheriff's doing the same thing. Really ticky on these type of things. The more we can really track our expenditures on this, we can really work our reimbursements on that same point. So just want to mention it to Mike. I know maybe his first disaster on that same side. Sheriff gets one once a week, but I know we're rolling through the overtime. And I looked up last night. Everywhere you go, there's deputies and blue lights. We had road crew members out, every possible place we could put them. So we just need to be sure we really carefully document our time and our hours, our equipment, stuff like that, as far as that assistance. So just as a reminder.
And people get, I think sometimes the feeling that this on, well, they live close to the reservoir, and you should know that. People that don't live close to the reservoir have water in their houses
Sure.
now too.
Sure.
And when, it's one of the, I've had it before, it's one of the worst feelings. I mean, a fire and flood in your house are two of the worst feelings you could ever have. Probably a burglar would be three. But when water comes up in your house, very, very few people have any insurance.
Helpless.
And you are just sick. And I feel sorry for every person that's having it right now, and whatever we can do, I sure want to do it.
Right.
If I can point one thing out to Daniel's point about keeping up with our expenditures, I do want to point out that prior to the declaration, we may have to eat some of that, which honestly is not why we're doing it anyway. But it's a good process for us to go ahead and track these expenditures right now.
Oh, I think so.
So staying on top of that's very important. I appreciate you pointing that out. We'll do everything we can to try to make sure we track our expenditures.
Okay, I had a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now we need to approve it. All right, motion to approve this by Mr. Cross.
Second.
Second, Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? Not, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay. All right, any other business?
We do have need for executive session.
I should have known that.
Personnel.
Make a motion to go into executive
Do
session.
you have any
All right.
indication?
Motion to
Discuss the need.
discuss the need to go into executive session with Mr. Morrow, second by myself. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Everyone else, please leave the building, room. Thank you. How you doing, Mr.?
Thank y'all.
Mr. Bowers, how are you today? Good.
I kind of like to see Sullivan in a tie every day.
Law.
Yeah.
I like that, don't you?
Personnel.
Yes.
And litigation.
Yeah.
I asked Greg.
All these?
I printed out an extra copy of the front page of each of the waivers.
With some more of these, of all these, you gonna probably just let me do them then and get them. I'm not, I'll sign some now, but I'm not gonna do them all right this second.
I'll step out.
Yeah, and that's fine. But all these in this page,
Like I've been doing, and giving you a copy of everything. You step out and I'll take care of it, come out there too.
yeah, I mean, I can be signing while we're doing this.
I won't go get your stamp. It's okay unless you want to sign it. I'll
Yeah, that's it, I can do that now.
I can daylight. Just go ahead.
Make the motion to go into executive session for the need for personnel and litigation.
Motion to go into executive session by Mr. Morrow, discuss personnel.
And
Second.
litigation, and potential
And litigation, potential litigation, second by Mr. Gaines. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?